People who are already involved in or interested in design, I would encourage them to, whether it's sign painting or any other aspect of design, is to get involved with the hands-on process. A traditional sign maker uses processes that have been around for hundreds of years. In our case, we typically sketch out our signs from concept to a final completion. Sometimes we incorporate the computer to create the finished file, and then the work is all hand rendered with brush. We use other methods like gold leafing. We do a lot of gold leafing on glass. The most fascinating thing about sign painting is the fact that you can never learn it all. Every time you start going in a new direction and you start learning a new aspect of the craft, it opens up a whole new can of worms that is really, really challenging. There are a lot of aspects of it that are related to muscle memory with brush strokes and brushwork, and those things have to be repeated over and over and over. It's always elusive. You can never really master any of it because it's just so complex, and I find that really, really an exciting aspect of what we do, is that you can never really fully learn any of it. Most people that have an interest in coming into it and learning the craft and keeping it alive, their best bet would be to approach an existing traditional sign painter and, asking to apprentice under them to get that training. The best attitude for anybody who wants to learn is to just accept they're in for the long haul. It's always challenging, you're always learning, but that's the other aspect to it too, is if you don't have the appetite to learn, it's not going to stick. If you're the type of person that's gonna, become obsessed enough with it that you're gonna look through old books when you have downtime, or you're gonna be looking when you're watching an old movie to say, oh, check that out, then, there's a decent chance you'll stick with it. A new development in the trade is the acceptance that we're getting into the art world. Years that have been put into the development of sign making as an art form from the turn of the century, to see that finally being accepted by the art community is very exciting. The process of gold leafing is very broad. There's a wide varieties to apply leaf to different surfaces. When we are applying leaf to glass for reverse glass gilding, we use a method known as Chicago gilding. Different regions around the United States developed different techniques for gilding. The Chicago gild method that we use provides more of that vintage look right out of the gate. So our leaf ends up on glass having more texture to the look than a water gild. A water gild gives you more mirrored finish. Our method provides more of a textured finish that gives it a vintage feel. The other styles that were in use mostly around the turn of the century in different parts of the country, they're all beautiful and provide their own, look and feel. For us, we developed the method that we're using in San Francisco because the clientele that we had there was always asking for something that had an old vintage feel to it.
It's very personal. It's very hands-on. It's not just click a button and computer made it. You know, it's the same thing with tattooing. We can't just click a button. We work for hours and hours. What we do, they do the exact same thing. It's a lot of handcrafting in it. You know, a lot of tradition that goes down with it. You know, same with tattooing. It's very similar. It's all based on stuff from the early, 50s and 40s that looks awesome.
Hand-painted signs have a life of their own. There's just something special about a lost art. You know, we're dying art. The last thing we need in this world is for something else, beautiful like that to go away. I'd like to see it become what it once was. I know that'll never happen, because we do live in a world of, I need it now, I need it 5 minutes ago, make it quick, make it the same. We live in that world, so it'll never be the way it used to be. But, as long as it stays around, that's groovy to me.
It's important that we keep all of the crafts around, because that's the heart and soul of every community is, the artisans and the craftspeople that are working is what gives it its identity.